In our last episode, we talked about the first year at Rock Bottom Ranch and just kind of building the program and everything. And so this episode, we're going to talk about when the girls finally started coming and our favorite moments and heart-jerking moments and whatnot at Rock Bottom Ranch. And so if you have not tuned in before, Rock Bottom Ranch is a Christian recovery home located in Palestine, Texas. We work with women coming out of incarceration that has all types of different addictions. And I'm Kelly Tinley. I'm the executive director.
And I'm Tesney Davis, and I'm the spiritual director.
And I'm Nima West, and I'm the treasurer on the board.
And I'm Lori Wolf, and I teach.
And so together, we are the 4 founders of Rock Bottom Ranch. And not only are we founders of the ministry, we are family. Mm-hmm. And so this episode is going to be about our experiences, the second year coming into the ministry with our women.
I probably struggled because I'd had so much experience in the prison and security that I was really too strict with rules. You know, I wanted it really because that's what I had lived with for over 20 years.
Yeah.
And so I had to really let you guys rein me in some because this is just my mindset that I've had for so many years. But I think we came to a happy medium with it all. I think so.
Yeah.
I think we all changed in respects to that. Some became
Absolutely.
tougher that were softer in the beginning, and others came softer that were tougher.
Yes.
So.
Absolutely.
We had to arrive to that point, though, to meet what our needs were for the girls.
Yep. And it's going to change, I think, over time with the different clients. And, we have obviously base rules, but I can remember every one of us being in agreement on this. Mm-hmm. No relationships.
Yes.
No relationships. Boyfriends are out of the question, right?
Yep.
Just so happens right now, our next graduation, it's going to be 3 women, 1 who's married, 2 who are engaged. So the graduation will take place on December 3rd. Those girls will remain with us until both of them are married.
Yes.
One's getting married, I think it's December 18th, and the other one is January 15th. And so even though they're graduated, they're committed to staying with us to do it right.
Yeah.
I mean, how crazy is that?
Yeah.
And we were like, oh no, they can't even write letters to men. No way. Yeah. And the Lord really, he dealt with us swiftly on that.
Yeah.
That, they're going to be in relationships. Mm-hmm. So we better teach them how to walk those out as a Christian woman, right? Mm-hmm. So that is a struggle that we have to this day still. Every girl who comes in has people, and some of them are good. Some of them are really bad, and it's that's one of the first things that we have to do is weed out who's who. And sometimes we do just say, you know what, that relationship is not good. Mm-hmm. And you need to put that relationship down, and that's just part of it.
Mm-hmm. That's where a lot of prayer comes in,
mm-hmm.
because we can't just make, we don't just make decisions based on what we feel or what we see. We need to go to the Lord with everything, and that's the foundation of our ministry anyway, is prayer and being led by the Spirit. So he changed us up on that one.
And each new girl that comes, I think that changes the whole dynamic. There's I actually talked to them about that the other day, where there's juggling for position, and and ultimately they're all in a good place, but we watch it happen every single time.
Yes.
There's a change.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'll never forget our first real girl, right? And going to court for her, right? And then I remember showing her mugshot to y'all before, and I'm like, she's a good one, and I mean, she was mad. That mugshot she was mad, right? Yeah. And we went to court for her, and the first court date, it didn't happen. In fact, she wasn't even seen. Remember? And so we had to go back that second day for her. And was the first time I was able to stand up in front of the judge and be questioned by the judge and the prosecutor and the attorney. And they said, well, how many girls do you have there now? And I said, none. She'll be our first. And I thought for sure, well, that's a done deal. That seals it. She's not coming home with us. And so that the prosecutor was like, well, you see, they have no experience. They don't know what they're talking about, and we're back and forth. And that judge hit the gavel and he said, I've heard enough. He said, I've never done this before, but I'm going to give it a shot.
Yes.
I'm going to give it a shot. And he sent her home with us that day. It was really, really something, huh?
Yes.
It was really something. It was beautiful. It was,
She came home. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah, the verse that just popped to my mind when you said that was, that the heart of a king is like channeled waters in the hands of the Lord. He wills it wherever he wishes. And that was all the Lord.
Oh, yeah.
In that,
Yes.
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. And that one was released to us in her nightgown.
That's what I was just about to say.
Yeah.
She came home to us in a nightgown. The clothes she was arrested in, because that's all she had.
Yeah. So that brings up Lydia's Closet, which is where the girls get their clothes. So when they come, most of them have one outfit, right? I mean, we've actually gotten a couple girls that haven't come from prison, and they've come with clothes. However, I'm pretty sure that we threw all of Amber's clothes away.
I think we did.
Yeah. But so they get to shop in Lydia's Closet. And if you haven't been to the ranch and haven't seen it, there are pictures of the closet on the Facebook page, as well as www.rockbottomranch.org. And Lori decorated that closet. And it is like a little boutique. And it's kind of, the closet and the laundry room are kind of the hub of the dorm. And that's another favorite part of my ministry, of the ministry. From my experience, watching those girls when we get a new girl in, them picking outfits for her.
Yeah.
And doing their hair and just loving on them. And what were you going to say, Nima? You have a good memory, I can tell.
Well, just this past weekend when the donations came in and they all had the wig on.
Yeah.
You were taking pictures of them all and they were all styling the wig, and it was so cute.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. Watching those girls love on each other is remarkable. And I know without a doubt in my mind that every one of those girls feel like they're part of a family.
I think so too.
Oh, definitely.
Every one of them. And the other cool thing that is coming of this ministry is that they don't want to leave. I mean, the first year was rocky, right? The first year was rocky. Yeah. We had a couple leave. We had one escape, right? But since then, we don't have any kind of, there comes days where they're like, I've had it. I can't do this anymore. I'm so frustrated. But really, they just need a big cry. And we know it's tough. Life is tough. Recovery is tough. Being a Christian's tough. Just because, you gave up the drugs and you turned to Jesus doesn't mean it's going to be easy.
That's right.
And so since then, it's been a real blessing. The one that comes to my mind is Amanda.
Yeah.
Because, and it's just hilarious. We'll be in Sunday school or we'll be wherever, and someone will do something silly, and her comment is always, that's my sister, every time. And it's really precious. Yeah. And she'll say a lot, things like, come on, family, it's time to pray, and that sort of thing. And being an only child, coming from a divorced family, divorced parents, she's never really had that unit, that family unit ever. And so I think it's pretty precious
Means
to
a
her.
lot to her. Yeah,
Yeah,
it does.
yeah.
Yeah, they're all growing. Each one you see them growing in the Lord and in relationships one with another.
Yeah.
You know, they certainly have that sisterhood thing going on, and the way they embrace a new girl as well. It's like at first, you know, there's that awkwardness, and then suddenly they kind of rallying to encourage and, you know, just help her break through that newness, and we see it all the time.
Yeah.
It just you know, it warms your heart.
Do you guys have a favorite moment with a girl or a story about?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. Golly. I can tell you my biggest heartbreak with one was when we lost Sarah. That one was very difficult for me, you know, particularly having to ask her to, you know, telling her she had to leave the program for the health of the rest of the girls. And that, I can remember thinking to myself, oh my goodness, I don't want to have to go through this too many times, you know, because you wonder, you know, at that point how often, you know, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But, you know, God really has had his hand on the women that he has sent there. And I can't help but believe, regardless of what's going on in her life right now, that seeds were planted.
Oh, absolutely.
Seeds were
so,
planted
too.
from there, and we just don't know how those, you know, who's going to come behind us to water those, and what will end up ultimately down the road taking place with her.
That was a very, very tough time, and I know that we all shed tears over that.
We did.
Yeah.
Every one of us. That was very difficult. And you know, she's still in our prayers, and we still reach out to her and hoping that, you know, when she's ready, we're here. And I know she knows that too.
Yeah,
So,
I agree. Yeah.
what about you, Nima?
Oh golly, there are so many, but I guess the one thing that still sticks out so much is how great you are with the girls whenever they're just at their wits' end and they come in and they're screaming and they're yelling and they're angry, and how you are so brutally honest with them. And then before they leave, everybody's hugging and
Yeah.
loving.
Yeah.
And that's my favorite, I think.
Oh,
Yeah, I would say
thank you,
that
Nima.
too.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
They're pretty special. They're pretty special.
they are.
They started calling me mom about, about 8 months ago,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's stuck.
Yeah. So,
I think Jessica kind of started that, and then
Yeah.
they just kind of followed, didn't they?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she's never known the love of a mother.
No, she hasn't.
Truly, she, you know, she was.
I think the most exciting thing for me, it's not just one particular thing. It's you know, just seeing it happen in each of the girls when they come, you know, and there's that hollowness in their eyes, and they're, you know, they look at you and you can tell that they don't trust you, and they're trying to judge all your motives and
Yes.
that thing, and then, you know, within a short amount of time, watching the whole countenance of their face change. And they become soft, and light begins to come into their eyes, and that is, to me, one of the most powerful ways I see God working, because He's working on the inside,
Yes, he
and
is.
the inside
Yes.
is manifesting itself on, you know, in the outside, and they're really kind of clueless about the fact that it's happening until, you know, somebody says something,
Right.
and then they're like, you know.
Yeah.
I think for me, I've enjoyed doing drama with them, and to see them move into different roles, different personalities, because they're very guarded and you know, with their addiction, that to take the step of becoming somebody else, somebody different, is intriguing for them and exciting. And I've watched over the past few months, Monica in particular, who is kind of laid back. She's very quiet and little reserved, but I've seen her step into roles that just have surprised me and surprised everybody else. The way she's kind of just thrown off, that reservedness and become a Salome, like we did the story of John the Baptist beheaded, and she was Salome last week doing a little dance, and we're all looking like, wow. But it's encouraging to see that, and the way they enjoy entering into a different personality, and it's fun.
I think one of my favorite things too is how they literally think that we're reading their diaries and then going to the pastor and saying, "All right, preach on this," okay, and how that the classes will overlap, and this class is confirming that class, and how they think that we have actually planned it all out, like we're that smart or together, or can see the future as to what they're going to be struggling with when. But it is unbelievable how the Holy Spirit weaves it all together so perfectly and so beautifully. And I've been accused of reading multiple diaries, Poor Sarah, she really thought.
Yeah.
That's really cool to see how the Holy Spirit does that. Yeah.
It's also exciting to see them when, God's truth, when that it's like this light bulb will come on, and He'll give them a revelation of the truth in that, and it looks on their faces and just the excitement that comes over them when they realize something connects.
Yes.
And it's something that they're going to remember, and something that they're going to use.
Yeah. And it's not always pretty when that happens.
No, it's not.
Because a lot of times it'll happen in a case of offense. Right? And they get offended at what someone said or did, or how they treated me or whatnot. And so then their behavior rears its head, and then they're convicted of it, and they're like, "Oh my gosh! Well, I thought I surrendered that, and now I see that I still have work to be, done in that area." That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And that actually, we had that experience this weekend with Amanda in church this weekend. She realized that she's still wanting to control things, control situations or people or her mother, and that it's the Lord's work, and that she just needs to trust that He's going to do it in His time. And it was a beautiful realization for her. Yeah, it came with a lot of tears. Yeah. So I think our next episode we're going to invite Jessica. Jessica is our first graduate, and when Jessica came to us, she actually had already gotten out of jail, which was a little bit unusual. We, the first year, one thing that we did not talk about was the pandemic, right?
Yes.
But we did struggle through the pandemic. I guess another really fond memory that I have of the pandemic is Duck Dynasty. Oh. I know. I mean, I had never watched Duck Dynasty. Yeah. And so those girls, Jessica and Sarah, they are turning me into a redneck. And, they love it, teaching me to fish and all of that. But that first year was tough through that. And we had a lot of one-on-one time because of the lockdowns and whatnot. But Jessica came from Kaufman County, and because of not being able to get into Kaufman County, she was released before we actually got up to interview her. And so interviewed her at her aunt's house, actually. And she graduated February 27th, right, of 2020. and decided to stay on as our house mother. And man, she's been a blessing. She's been a blessing to us. And, I don't know if we could kick her out. Honestly, I don't know that she'd go. she's sold out to the ministry, to the Lord, to recovery, and she's really good for the girls, and she's still growing and still changing, and just a blessing.
This is really the first home she's ever had.
Yeah,
It is.
it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
That I think has been one of our highlights too. Was the night she graduated.
Yeah.
Was just I'll never forget it.
Yeah.
I will never forget it, and as I'm sure we won't forget any of the girls.
Right.
Who go through, but I don't know, just the light in her that night, and
Her testimony.
was so powerful
Powerful.
and so beautifully written.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I guess we should wrap it up. But what a great couple of years.
Yes.
And there's just going to be more and more beautiful growth and challenges and hurdles and mountains and valleys and tears and laughter. I mean,
Yes.
we just have to walk like you were saying, Nima, earlier before we started. That it's the Lord's, and we just have to walk
That's
in
right.
faith. We
That's
just have to
right.
trust.
That's right.
And when we do, He takes care of us.
That's right.
He takes care of us. It's a wonderful lesson. And it's an amazing life to be able to live a ministry and to live really knowing that whatever happens, it's the Lord's.
That's right.
I mean, what a gift. What a gift.
Yes.
It really changes the way you view ministry too. At least it did for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll never view it the same.
Yeah.
It'll always be out in the midst of, just like Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean, there was time he was in the temple and he was teaching, but he was out among the people,
That's
right.
out among the lost, trying to save. And so, that's where it's at.
And good point, Lori. And what that brought to my mind is, not everyone will be ready. Not everyone will be ready. And as much as we want to save everyone, like with the ones who have left,
Right.
all we can do is be confident that
That's
we
right.
did plant that seed.
That's right.
And as of today, I am confident that we have touched lives, even if they didn't complete the program.
So too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anything else?
All right. I'm ready to go fishing.
Yeah. So
More girls.
right? We're transitioning, and we have so many girls working right now, and 2 that are going to start working. That our classes are getting a little bit small during the morning classes, so we're gonna get out there and go fishing and
That's right.
try to round up a couple more.
Yes, ma'am. I'm ready.
Graduation's coming.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Well, if y'all like what you hear and want to be part of Rock Bottom Ranch as far as volunteers or just monetary donations, we are entirely run on donations and grants, and we have the best volunteers in the whole world.
Yes, we do.
I mean, they are the heart of our ministry, and we appreciate them so much. If you feel like you want to be part of the ministry, reach out to us either at the ranch, 903-727-2550, or through our website or Facebook. Our website's www.rockbottomranch.org, and you can find us on Facebook, just Rock Bottom Ranch in Palestine. We'll come up. And we love to partner with churches and individuals and businesses. And, I think part of what has helped us to sustain the way we have are our monthly contributors, the monthly pledges through churches and individuals, because we can count on that money each month. And it is absolutely just such a blessing to have those gifts that we know and we can count on every month. We know that our lights are going to stay on and that the girls are going to be fed. So we just in this moment, we want to thank everyone who has donated and volunteered and done physical labor.
Yes.
I mean, we would not be here. Transportation. I mean, it's countless things. We would not be here without you, nor would the girls, because every one of the volunteers touches these girls. I mean, they form relationships
Yes, they
with
do.
everyone.
Everyone.
The cooks, and the teachers, the drivers,
Yes.
everyone. So it's amazing. Yeah. So if you're ready for a heart change, right?
Right.
And an opportunity.
That's right.
We have that for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, thanks so much. I'm so happy. I think this is so much fun.
I know.
It's fun. It was fun.
All right.